right, it is time for Peter's Pans and Picks. Joining us as always, friend of the stream, our CBS travel editor, Peter Greenberg. Peter, good morning. Good to see you. Where are you in the world today?
I'm actually in Mount Sinai in Egypt, in the middle of the desert.
Oh, wow. That's far away. Thank you for making time to be with us and chat. That's always kind of you.
Not a problem.
All right, so let's start with Memorial Day. Just passed, the TSA screened a record number of people. People are going places. So with the busy start of the summer travel season, do we think that the airports and airlines are ready for this influx over the next few months?
Well, let's go back in time just a little bit. You know, last Friday, they screened 2.9 million people. That was the biggest day in the TSA's more than 20-year history.
Wow.
But I need to add that the biggest days in the TSA's history, the 5 top days, were all this year, which will give you an indication of where people are going and how many people are going. This number is going to be sustained through the end of this year. So if you thought planes were full last year, fasten your seatbelt. They're going to be even more full, even if that's physically possible, throughout the end of this summer.
And I've noticed, just checking even domestic travel, something like a flight that would typically cost $200 is now double that. Is it the demand that's playing in here?
It's two things that are playing into it. Yes, you're right, it's the demand, but it's also something else. It's supply chain issues with Boeing because the airlines never got the planes they needed to fulfill and support their summer flying schedule, so they had to rejigger that and cancel a lot of flights, consolidate others, end a couple of routes, and delay a number of routes they wanted to announce. As a result, every plane is full, and that gives you an idea. So while the number of passengers exceeds 2019, it just feels even crazier because there are not as many flights.
Yeah, definitely feel that for sure. You kind of think twice about those quick trips to see family or friends. All right, so let's talk about some very shiny, fancy new renderings we got from the city of Chicago. It looks like a major overhaul coming to O'Hare Airport. And for anyone who wasn't watching earlier, it's a satellite concourse 1. There's going to be a global terminal, 2 new concourses, all types of stuff, some new gates. Do you think this will stop O'Hare from maybe dropping down that airport list and rankings we've been talking about?
Well, let's forget about rankings, because rankings are just based on how many flights you have and how many people you're processing. I don't know if you really want to have that number as a boasting issue. Right. You want to just make sure the airport works. And O'Hare does need that new terminal, especially for the international flights, because so many more flights want to come either to or through Chicago. So that's a good thing. I don't know if they're going to be able to get another runway out there, but the point is they need it just in terms of the volume. And basically this, how many times have you landed at Chicago and not been able to cross a runway to get to your gate in time, and then the gate was full? So you need more space, so hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I just think sometimes even just aesthetically, you know, you get into O'Hare sometimes and you're thinking, this could really use an update here, especially comparing it to other major airports.
Except for one glaring problem, and that is I'm convinced that the people who design and build airports have never flown. I really do. I mean, look at LaGuardia. It's a redone, beautiful, gleaming, shining, congested airport where the walks to your plane are, you know, they seem like the Bataan Death March. The carpet they put in there does not help you move your bag, even if it's a rollerboard.
Yeah,
there are no people movers of consequence there because they don't want to anger the concessionaires. So they don't want you to come zipping by the airport stores. So now you still have to walk. I mean, we have to get more common sense and understand what is a real definition of an airport. I don't know about you, but I don't get up in the morning excited to go to an airport. I get up in the morning excited to go through one because that's not what my destination is. Not the airport. My destination is what the airport's going to get me to. So let's put that in mind as we design what will hopefully be a brighter, better, more efficient O'Hare.
Let's hope. And I know construction is going to take a long time. I think 2028 is expected completion, so we got to wait a while, but I hope it's worth the wait. All right, on your second episode of Travel Detective, this one's probably going to have to be pretty quick. You were in Antarctica. For episode 3, you visit Detroit. There's so much history in Detroit. We're talking about memories of the Great Recession, and then, of course, just the automotive industry. But it's made quite a comeback. So this is something people should put on their list of a place to maybe check out?
Believe it or not, there's a renaissance in Detroit, and it's well-deserved. I remember not too many years ago when Detroit was forgotten. Parts of that city were abandoned and left to rot. Those days are over. Things are coming back in a very big way. And in fact, the restaurant scene is amazing. The farm-to-table scene is amazing. Manufacturers are coming back. Made in Detroit actually means something now, and we're not just talking about automobiles. A lot of things to actually see there, not to mention the aquarium, which is a very cool place to visit. Now, those are the shots of the Antarctic, of course, and now we're in Detroit. And that'll give you an idea. Oh, that's part of the other stuff that's going to be on the show. An amazing World War II museum north of Seattle. That's me in Lexington, Kentucky, jamming with the band. We have a lot in this episode of The Travel Detective.
Yeah, all over the place. So really quickly, back to Detroit. My mom was born and raised there. Every time I go back, I am amazed at just how much revitalization is happening. You think it's worth a road trip from Chicago, but what maybe most surprised you about Detroit?
What made the most surprise to me is that the revitalization of all the derelict buildings and how people have moved back in and turned it all around. That's the real renaissance there, because they've redone the community spirit. You now have so many different communities in Detroit that are proud to be there, and it shows.
All right. CBS travel editor Peter Greenberg, thank you so much for your insight. We always appreciate it, and it's always helpful. Thanks.